Hi everyone. We'll just start at 12:05 since some people could be late or whatnot. Just stay put. Okay, I think it's 12:05. I think we could get started. Might share my screen. Can everyone see that?
I can see it.
Great. Thank you. Okay, let's see here. Oh, I will go into present mode. Still can see it, guys? Okay.
Yes. Yep.
Yeah, I think, yeah, let's get started right now. So, good afternoon, everyone. I hope we're doing fine. It's really cold outside, my goodness, but let's get started. Let's do some programming. Let's see. Oh, sorry. Just some important things to set up. So, if you haven't, please join the Discord. This is where like you can get in touch with your mentor. Heck, you could even get some help if you have in the future we'll have like more coding sessions. So if you need help. Oh, what does this phone say? It may still be -22, but I'll still be out in shorts. How Canadian of you. Uh, Another thing is can you join the Top Hat? That's where you guys will answer most of the quick questions, and that's where you could earn your Ignite points to maybe win a gift card at the end of these 8 sessions. Well, how to join Top Hat? Well, you could I hope you set this up last session, but you could go to the Top Hat link and remember to use the Saturday session because this is Saturday. And then you could also skip the student ID and phone number and still get into Top Hat. Yep, thanks. Let's go here. Also, please join the Discord. And to be more specific, you could also, there's a bot there. You could ask them to like put you into your like group session. So for anyone, I'm Adrian, and if anyone's in group 6, then you could do like group set Saturday 6. So we'll go over the session overview. So today we'll actually start getting coding, but first we're gonna set up our notebook using Trinket. I believe we gave you that introduction last time. But anyways, we'll go through that. We'll also learn some important functions called setup and draw, so we could start making like our games. We're also gonna cover shapes and also printing text.
Are we really gonna use Trinket or what?
Excuse me?
Are we really gonna use Trinket or what?
Yes, we are for this session.
Okay, so how are we gonna use Trinket?
Oh, I'm gonna show you. We'll get right into that. But for next time when you're asking a question, can you just raise your hand? Because you cut me off there for a little bit. But
Because I don't have a camera,
yeah,
but my camera isn't on.
yeah, I'm just saying, can you just raise your hand next time?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. Okay, I'm like what Krishna said, I'm gonna show you how to get it started. And we'll cover some important topics like variables and operators. The basics. Okay, let's get started. So let's try getting set up here. Oopsies. Can everyone still see my screen?
Yeah.
Yep. So everyone, we could all go to like Trinket. Oh, let's get started writing our code. So everyone, you have to sign up for a Trinket account. And here, if you signed up, you'll see this message here. Yep. Nice. You got into Trinket. We'll go into home, and then you see this little key arrow over here. You could please select it. And then this time we're going to use Python. Not Python 3, but Python. Okay. And then there you go. You'll have something like this on your screen. And then you see this side onto the left here. That's where we're going to write our code. And you could drag this over here. And you see this part onto the right over here. This is where you'll see like your game or like all the circles and all the stuff that you're coding. So let's get back into getting started. So let's write our first line of code. So in main.py, oh, let's go back here. So I hope you have your file up here. I'm gonna move to a different file I made, but you'll have something like this. So everyone, I want you to type from processing import this asterisk. So if everyone could type that out. And you might be wondering like what does this line of code does? Well, for our code, we're telling the computer sort of that we're gonna use tools from the processing sort of like toolkit. So different in actual programming, people might have developed different like toolkits, so to say. But oh, we have another question. Can you show how to get into Trinket? I'll go through that over. I'll go through that later. But when we're doing from processing, we're kind of like telling the computer we're going to use like the hammers, the screwdrivers associated with the processing tool set, if that makes sense. So just to reiterate, we go to Trinket, we go to Home, and then you click this little key and you type in Python, and then you should get a little file like this. Nice. So I hope everyone has that piece of code down. So let's let's try to print something. Like let's try to print something in the console. So I want everyone to write print, right? Does everyone have that? And we want to print some sort of like text. So in order to print text in Trinket, you have to do quotation marks. And the computer's really like picky about this because later on we'll explore that computers they see numbers, they see text, and they see even decimal numbers a little bit differently. But in this case, if we want to tell the computer to print out text, we need to put it in quotation marks. So everyone type in whatever, like hello world, right? And then let's click save. You don't really have to click save, but you do need to click this run button right here. And look at that. You see at the bottom? It says hello world. And Ranveer is asking something. Yeah, print hello world, something like that. And if you could be like, hello, Adrian. There you go. It prints down there. I hope everyone has that. And another thing that's important about programming is programming is sort of like an essay per se. So you might want to make like you might want to make although this is what the computer understands, maybe a human might not know what you're doing. So you might want to make like something called comments. Oh, someone raised your hand, yeah?
Hi. So, when are we going to be split into groups? Like I'm group four. When are we gonna be split into groups?
We'll do that later. Don't worry about that. I'll tell you when we're gonna split into groups, okay?
Okay, thank you.
And yep, Ranveer, I'll answer one more question.
So with the hashtag, like the green text, is that really necessary within the code?
This is so what I'm making here, this is something called a comment. So the computer doesn't read this. So I could type in whatever here and it's not gonna mess up the code. But say I have some function down here, I'm gonna be like hashtag this code below prints my name. So if someone wants to read my code, they know like what I'm actually doing here. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I think that makes more sense.
Because like when you're like in a job or something, you're gonna be passing around these scripts and you might write some code that but someone else might not know what that code is for. So that's why you need comments. Excuse me. Yeah. Okay. So we have that down. Now let's do some more exciting stuff. You can keep that there. That should be fine. But for now, I'm just gonna delete this. Yep, Jacob. Jacob, you raised your hand.
My from port processing import is showing it has a problem. It is
As
not
a
the hello world.
Oh, okay. Uh, did you include the asterisks from import that little asterisk?
I did.
Okay. And you're saying it's running into a problem?
Yes.
Okay. Maybe is it something associated with the print? Do you think?
Red was showing on the from processing.
Oh, okay. I'm not too sure about that. Can you just make sure the computer's very like case sensitive, so can you just make sure of that? I'm sorry. But when we maybe break out into sessions, your mentor could help with you about
Yeah,
that.
so with specific questions, if we cannot figure, like, if they're not like very generic questions, please wait till the breakout rooms. Your mentors will be able to help you. They know how to use Trinket. So for right now, we'll continue with the lecture.
Okay. Thank you, Mahak. So I hope you have that, but you could talk to your mentor after. But we're gonna move on. So let's start making our sort of like app or game. So I want everyone to type out def setup. Does everyone have that? And what this function does is when we're running this entire script here, def setup, this setup function, it's gonna run all the code that's below this once. So we could have like code down here, code here. And when we want to write code under the setup, it has to be indented here. It's very important. It has to be indented. And this function runs everything initially once. Once, okay? Nice. Now I'm going to define something called def draw. And watch, I'm just going to add some comments. Runs once at the start of the program. Now you might wonder what draw does. Well, draw, instead of running once at the start of the program, everything that is under the draw function under here is gonna run infinitely many times. So it's gonna keep on running until we press stop on the code. Runs infinitely many times until we exit or stop the program. We could have our code down here and code here. And we'll go back, we'll talk about this a little bit later. But although we write down this code, this isn't actually going to do anything. Before we actually run anything, we actually need to specify this guy at the bottom here. So when we type down this piece of code down here, we're going to we're basically telling the computer that everything before run, so all this stuff, we're gonna run that. It's gonna show up onto the right over here, if that makes sense. And this run is gonna allow us to like visualize our drawings onto the right. Okay. I hope you have that. I'm gonna write this little comment down here, executes all of our code. And this is one little thing about Python, and I guess lots of programming languages in general. Uh, you see these numbered lines down here? That's kind of like how the computer reads our code. So you know how when we read words like from left to right, in our little script here, the computer's gonna read it from the top to the bottom, if that makes sense. Okay. So let's actually start kind of like visualizing stuff. So I know if you played any games, you have like your window out, right? So we need to define sort of like our working space, our gaming window type of thing. So let's write down size and let's make a triangle. Does everyone have that? And if we run this code here, I'm gonna run that. Oh, bad input. Oh, I have to, I'm gonna, don't immediately run this code, but I'm just gonna show you what it does. But if you see to the right over here, you see this little grayed out area? That's gonna be our workspace. And if you don't have this thing called pass here, it's gonna get an error, and that's fine. And we'll cover that later. We'll fix that error later. But if we go back to the slides, oh, this is sort of like our coordinate system. So I'm hoping you guys know like the X and Y coordinate system, but if you don't, if we make, oh, sorry. If we make a, if we imagine like our window, or I guess this entire screen that I have here, this top left corner here is 0, 0. And if we move along to the right over here, we're going to be increasing in width. We're going to be increasing in this number, in X. And if we move down, we're going to be increasing in height. So I'll go back. Oop, I'll exit here, and I'll go back to Trinket. But you see this 300 here? If I make it like 500, that's gonna change our height value. See how it's like really long? Anyways, just have this little piece of code down here. And when I mean by 300 and 300, it's just like 300 pixels wide and 300 pixels in height. So we have that. But let's like draw something. Let's actually draw something. And let's draw a rectangle. So if we go back here, we're going to use a function called rect. And this is how we basically draw a rectangle. And it takes 4 arguments. It takes sort of like 4 instructions before it needs to actually draw it. So the first instruction, or the first argument, is called the x, which is the x coordinate over, we're going to draw the top left. And then the y coordinate, we're going to draw the top left corner of this rectangle. And then the w and the h specify the width and the height. So let's draw that. Let's start executing that, not in the setup, but we want it in the draw. So everyone, let's write rect. And you guys could play around with the values here, but I'm gonna specify I want the rectangle's top left corner to be like dead set in the middle of our window. So I'll do like 150 pixels by 150 pixels. So it might be around here. And I want it to be maybe 30 pixels wide and 30 pixels tall. Oh, sorry, we have one quick question. When you define your function in Python, you have to call the function back, or it has to be called back as setup. So setup doesn't need any arguments. And I guess in setup, you don't have to call it. It just runs once. But for draw, you also don't have to call it anywhere. It's just any code under draw is just going to be ran infinitely many times. So you don't have to worry about that. And keep in mind that setup in draw, you see these parentheses here, they don't have anything. So just keep in mind. Okay, I hope that cleared things up, Mike. But can everyone have this code down here? And let's try running it. I'm gonna pause. I stopped it. I'm gonna run it. There we go. We have our little like rectangle. Well, since I made it 30 pixels wide and 30 pixels tall, this is a square. But as you can see, the code down here, the window, I told the computer I want a window that is 300 pixels wide and 300 pixels tall. Okay. And then I also told the computer here, I want to draw a rectangle that is 30 pixels wide, 30 pixels tall. Well, that's just a square actually. At the location 150 pixels to the right and 150 pixels down. Dead set in the middle of our window. And maybe we could take a couple more minutes just like playing around with those values. Like if I took heck 250, let's see what that does. See how I increased the location to the right? Now it moves to the right because if we go here, this is our coordinate system. if we increase our width, it's going to increase this number right here. And speaking of this other slide, let's make an ellipse. And an ellipse is just a fancy word for like I kind of like a distorted circle in a sense. So I want to draw. Oh, we have one. There's a syntax error on the line that says 300 by 300. Yahor, or George, sorry. Maybe in the breakout room for now, but just be mindful that we need for the function we might need a semicolon. Maybe you forgot a semicolon, but for we could fix that when we go into our breakout rooms. But let's draw an ellipse this time. So let's specify, maybe we want it sort of near the top left right here. That could be maybe that could be maybe 50, 50, and if we look in the arguments right here, the center of our ellipse is going to be at the location 50 pixels to the right and 50 pixels down. So it might be around here. And we want the width of the ellipse. Let's make it around 60. And then maybe the height, let's make it 60 again. That makes a circle. We stop right there. There we go. So this code here, we're 50 pixels to the right, 50 pixels down, and the width and height is around 60 pixels. Yep. And here, let's make this like 100 per se. See what that does. So we define the width to be a very large number. So that's why it's kind of like stretched, I guess, sideways. Okay, we're gonna enter a sort of like top hat question. So I hope you understood like the location, the coordinate system. So we're gonna have our first quick question. What values, so say this is our window right here. What values of x, y, and d make a circle defined as an ellipse, x, y, d, d, that has a radius of 50, and you see the edges here, that they touch the top left corner of the screen. So I'm going to open up Top Hat. Oh, okay. And starts question. Can everyone see that? Oops, sorry. And I think it's open. I hope you guys could respond. Oh, maybe I'll make this a bit bigger. There we go. Okay, I'm gonna let you guys answer that. Yep, yeah, I could take one more question. Yuroki, yeah.
So I can't see the question you posted.
Oh, you sure?
Yeah.
We're in the Saturday Top Hat session.
Mhm.
Can you
So,
also?
beginner Saturday.
Yep, beginner Saturday. That's what session you are in now.
Okay. I don't see session 1 questions here. I only see session 5, session 3, and session 7.
Not too sure. Can we maybe when we go into our breakout session, the mentor could help you again?
Okay, sure.
I'm so sorry.
Yep, it's no problem. Thanks.
But even if you are there, just like think about the question in general. Like, just think about it. Maybe it's a good exercise. Oh, 3 seconds. Oh. Okay. time is up. I hope everyone answered. I'm sorry for the other four people. We might have to move on, but let's see let's see the responses. Oh,
I
okay.
don't even know what to do. I haven't logged in the top hat.
Sorry.
I haven't even logged in the top hat. How do I log in? I don't even know.
Um,
You can
Krishna,
message them. They can help you.
I think
Okay.
that's fine for this session, but we're gonna go into our breakout rooms pretty soon, and maybe we could get the mentor to help you out. But I'm so sorry about that. Okay, so let's review our responses. X and Y make define have a radius of 50 and touch the left corner of the screen. Okay. I want I'm very obvious. I'm a bit sorry that I can't go through all these answers all at once, but I am going to show the correct answer, and it is D. And I'll show you in code why it's that. Okay, let's go. I made this code earlier, but if we run this code, let's run that. Oh, I think I made an error. Sorry, this question. I think I copy pasted the wrong code. Okay, there we go. So if we set the oh, sorry.
By the way, I accidentally selected Scarlet for my school. Now I can't log into your course.
Oh,
So, if any of you have accidentally chosen a different school, there is a very easy way to change your school. We will show you guys that at the end of the session, or you guys can go to your breakout rooms to ask that to your mentors. But again, these questions, let's keep that for the end of session so we don't disrupt the people who are actually working on these, okay?
Yeah.
okay. Thanks. Thank you. But if we say we have 50-50, let's try to specify that down here. Let's create that ellipse. As you can see, it does the edges do touch I guess the top and I guess the top section of the window and to the side section of the window. But we're asking for a radius of 50, right? So we know that the circle's center has to be 50 away from this edge of the screen, and it also has to be 50 pixels from the top of the screen. So that's why we write 50. That's why when we specify the center of the ellipse, it's 50 to the right and it's 50 to the bottom. And then obviously 100 is the diameter. So it's from here to here. Anyways, I hope you guys got it right. If not, that's fine. Could move on to the next section. So we've gone through like drawing. Here, I'm gonna get our code from before. Okay. Oh, we'll just go back here. I mean, if we look at all of our circles and our rectangles, the color's pretty bland in my opinion. So now we're gonna sort of like spice things up. So let's first like change the color of the background. So let's type let's go in let's so we want to specify the background sort of at the start of our setup, if that makes any sense. That makes sense though, because we want to tell the computer, okay, we want our window of 300 by 300 and we want that window to be colored, say blue. Oh, back to slide 16. Oh, yeah. So Tanisha, maybe could take a screenshot of this real quick. But this is I believe these slides are available to you. There we go. We got the screenshot. Nice. But let's okay. What color do we want our background to be? Someone like shout it out in the chat or something. I'll like find it. Red, blue,
Red.
Red. Okay, I heard. Yeah, we're going to. Oh, you know what? Purple. That's an interesting one. So in programming, how we define colors is through three numbers. Oh, I'm gonna write this down here. 0, 0, 0. And color in general is described using three colors: red, green, and blue. So R, G, and B. And if you've done any graphic design, like see right here, RGB color picker. If we want like red, we go here. You see how it's R, G, and B? The R is like at a very high value. It's 200. So you could like literally go online for this. So let's pick out like purple. You know what? That looks good. Let's copy these values down here. Okay. And you see, look at that. It changes the exact color down here because we specified that we want our background to be this combination of red, this combination of green, and this combination of blue. But you see these values like a 116, 232, they aren't random. For example, if we want a purely red background, we're gonna put the maximum value, which is 255. So remember that. If you want a maximum color of something, it's always capped at 255. So I'm gonna delete this code down here. And you look at that, it's completely red because we put 0 for green, 0 for blue, and 255 for red. Let's go back to the slides. So yeah, that's basically the gist of it. That's the red amount, the green amount, the blue amount, or you could do grayscale. So you could, instead of specifying three colors, and notice that I have to use a comma, okay? Because this doesn't work. That's something else entirely. But if you just want to use one color, you're telling the computer, I want to use grayscale. So let's put in 0. It's completely black, right? 0, if we do 0 of red, 0 of green, 0 of blue, well, that's just black. And imagine if we do 255. What color do you think that will bring out? Red? Red, white? White? So a lot of people are saying white, and you are right. So when we're specifying one color or just one number here, we're kind of like, we're kind of basically telling the computer to do this. But if I do, say, like 130, what I'm really telling the computer is to do this, if that makes any sense. So let's do 255. That's like the maximum. Maximum of red, maximum of green, maximum of blue. And that's just plain old white. Okay. So let's go back to these shapes that we have down here. And I want to make this. Okay, I'll go with our purple earlier. I like purple. Let's change the color of these shapes down here. They are pretty bland. So if we want to change the color of like say the rectangle or the ellipse, we have to use this function called fill. And similar to a background right here, it also takes the RGB values. So let's try, or if we have no fill, then you just specify no fill. So what color do we want? Let's go back to our rectangles. What color do we want our rectangle to be? Or like our square? Like shout it out in the comments.
Blue.
Blue. Oh no, I'm gonna go with cyan. I'm sorry. Cyan. Okay. Actually, what is you could even do this RGB cyan. That is okay. That is roughly this one. Let's go here. I'm gonna use fill and I'm gonna copy that value. And let's see what happens. Stop there. Oh, okay. So, oh, excuse me. So as we can see here, it fills the color of our rectangle, but also our ellipse. So that's can I so ULs is asking, sorry, just another question from the chat. ULs is asking, can you use fill cyan? Unfortunately, you can't because the computer doesn't know what what the value of cyan is, unfortunately. So you can't do that, unfortunately. Sorry, ULs. But notice how when we use fill, it fills the color of the rectangle and the ellipse. So how do we avoid that? Well, whenever we use fill, it's sort of like this section down here. It's sort of like we're dipping your paintbrush. So if I dip my paintbrush in cyan and then I draw a square, and then you tell the computer to also draw a circle, it's also gonna draw the circle with that paintbrush color. So whenever we use fill, if we want to do two separate colors for two separate shapes, we need to specify fill 2 times. So let's go right here. Okay, what do we want the circle? What's the color of the circle? Someone shout it out.
Maroon.
Maroon? Okay, what is maroon? Maroon RGB. Oh, okay, that seems interesting. Let's try that out. And you guys don't have to like copy like my exact values. I encourage you guys to maybe just toy around with it while I'm talking. And look at that. So here, when we're doing the draw, we basically told the computer, I'm gonna dip my paintbrush in the cyan. I'm gonna draw a rectangle. Okay, cool. But then I tell the computer, okay, you drew the rectangle, and now I'm gonna dip the paintbrush in the maroon color. Okay, and then draw a circle. So I hope you understand that. If you guys could also take a screenshot of that. Okay, so I hope you learned a bit about making rectangles and ellipses and whatnot. So this is your first exercise. This isn't like for Ignite points or anything, but can you guys draw the Calgary Tower? Or I guess what can you draw with it? Your first masterpiece.
We'll go into breakout rooms for this exercise. Just before we go into our breakout rooms, though, please note that there are 6 mentors who are absent today. So if you are in their group, you will be temporarily in someone else, like another mentor's group, just for today. And when they're back, you'll be in your normal group. So I'll open the breakout rooms right now, and you guys should see a message to join them.
Okay.
Okay, so in the remaining people, I have 5 people here for who I do not know the name that you registered for the course with, so I wasn't able to put you guys in your groups. Before that, Utkarsh, is there a problem? You should be able to join your breakout room.
Oh, no, there's no problem. Just joining.
Okay. Um, yes. So I will go over the
I
people.
actually got assigned to breakout room 6, but I'm in group 3.
Yes. So the problem is that your mentor is absent today. So just for today, you're in a different breakout room.
Oh, okay, sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah, thanks.
No worries. I believe it's the same for Eliana. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing your name correct, but you are also in a separate breakout room today because your mentor is absent. And then the same for Junkai, I believe. But yeah, for other people, so Sebastian, Q, Amy, I do not know what names you registered for the course with, so I wasn't able to put you in your groups. If you tell me what your actual name is or what your group number is, I will, can you tell me, like, how do we join the breakout room? Can you tell me what room number you're in? Room 6. Okay. I will put you into room 6. You should be able to see a
Hi.
pop-up message.
Oh, sorry for interrupting. Well, my
Yeah.
name is Sebastian, and I transferred to the online version for today.
Oh,
So,
I see. Give me 1 second and I'll put you in the room that you were assigned to for today.
okay, thank you.
No worries. So I'm gonna put you into room 1 and you should see a pop-up message.
I see it. Thank you.
Okay, no worries. Jamie, did you register with the name Jamie? Or did you register with another name? Okay. Did you get an email? Do you know what group number you're part of? If you don't, that's okay. I'll put you into, again, because the groups are a little random this time since we have so many mentors who had to leave for today. I'm going to put you into room 4 for right now. And the mentor is Ali, and he should be able to help you out. Does that make sense?
Maha,
Hello.
it's not letting me share my screen. I wanted to go
Okay.
over the example for the Calgate Tower.
That is weird. I'll go back and I'll give you the permissions to share your screen.
Okay.
Oops, sorry about that, guys. Okay. See, breakout rooms. Yeah, so again, Jamie, I'm putting you into group 4. And you should see a pop-up message right now. Group 12, perfect. I will send you into group 12. Wait, I believe group 12, the mentor isn't here today, unfortunately, so I might have to put you into another group. Yeah, Saad isn't here. I'm gonna assign you to group 16 for today, and Rebecca should be able to help you out. Q, you should be able to see a pop-up message that says join group 16, and you should be able to enter that. And last up, we have Amy. Amy, if you can hear me, can you tell me what group you're part of, and I can send you to that group?
Group 6.
Uh, yeah, was there a problem? Okay, Amy, you should be able to see a pop-up message that asks you to join group 6. And Yusuf, was there a problem? Is there a reason why you're back?
No, I just had to leave and rejoin on a different device.
I'm sorry?
I just had to join on a different device.
Okay. Group 6. Were you part of group 6?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. I'll send you another message.
Okay, how did that go, guys? Pretty smooth, I hope. Yeah. Okay, I like that thumbs up. Any more? Do you have a question for us? Or oh, I guess it's Jacob. Jacob, you have one more question? I'll take one more question.
During the breakout room, I was following along with the mentor, putting in the same codes, and it won't do anything.
Uh, I'm sorry to hear that. I don't think I could debug that issue now since we're still in the main room. We're gonna have one more breakout room. So I hope we could get that sorted out. I'm so sorry about that, Jacob, though. But we're gonna have to go. We have to proceed with the lecture. I'm sorry.
Okay.
In the breakout room, we'll get it sorted. Don't worry.
Adrian, you're muted.
How embarrassing. Sorry. Thank you for that. Uh, I made a derpy happy face. You might have made the Calgary Tower, but remember that the ellipse, you have to specify the center. Yes, I also specified the color, and then I specified two eyes that are circles, and then I specified the rectangle. Anyways, hope that first exercise went pretty well. But we have to move to another important topic called variables. So variables are like important uh placeholders, so to say. They're kind of like if I'm hoping I'm hoping you took algebra. So like x equals 7 is like a variable, something like that. But in programming, the idea of variables is kind of like extended a little bit. So a variable could be, for example, a variable could just be like my age. Age equals some value. And each variable has a name, it has a value, the thing that it contains, and it has a type. So can anyone tell me what type age is?
It's an integer.
Yeah, it's an integer. Yep, right there. So an integer is always is a whole number. Remember, it's a whole number. And it could either be positive or negative, but it's never a decimal. It's always a whole number. So remember that. Another important so if you're dealing with, say, like data, or like maybe you have like a person's like HP bar that's like 36.5 hearts, right? You're gonna need to use something called a float, and that's just a decimal. And this includes positive and negative decimal numbers. So salary could be 3,029. I really hope that's like that's a low salary. So yeah, those are some examples. But another thing is something called a string. And a string is sort of like if you could think about it as like a string of symbols, a string of characters. And it's like and it is a variable for text, or it is a type for text. So this person's name is Janice Smith. So the first name, this is like the variable. The first name equals Janice. Last name equals Smith. And you know how we printed out hello world earlier? Let me just go back. for that. I'm gonna delete this. I'm sorry. But if you print out hello world, see down there, you know how we wrap it in quotation marks? I'm telling the computer to print out a string of characters. And you see how I have single quotes here? It could also be double quotes, but if you specify double quotes, you see how there's an error? You have to specify double quotes at the beginning and at the end. So it's either you use this or you use this when you specify a string. Let's go back to the slides. Yep, Ignite U of C. So let's practice making a variable. And creating a variable assigns a value to a name. Using the name of the variable accesses the value of that variable. So let's try copying down that code. And I'll even go back over here. This was during the setup, right? Keep your window size, but you could, like, my name is first, or my name. And notice how when I'm defining a variable, oh, one person raised their hand.
So are we making a new trinket, or are we using the one we made like last time?
Oh, you can make a new trinket. You could also keep the same code as last time. It doesn't, just as long as you get this code in your I guess in your browser.
Okay, thank you.
Yep, but for this one, I want you guys to practice making a variable in the setup function. So I'm going to specify my name equals Adrian. So I'm specifying that my name, the variable my name, has the value of Adrian. That is a string. To print my name. Look at that. It appears down there. And maybe this guy over here is named Adrian. I don't know. But a very important part about naming variables. Naming variables is very important. See how I have this underscore here? What happens if I add a space? Ooh, error. So a common convention is whenever you need a space, use an underscore. Right there. You could also do this. My name. Oh, but you see here, it's very sensitive. So I defined it as my name, but I also defined it here a lot differently. You see, it's not defined. So I have to replace the bottom. Oh, what the heck? I have to replace the bottom with that. Okay. And you also do height. 10. And you could also print my height. There we go. I hope you guys had some practice with that. Quick question. Oh, shoot. Okay, this is versus some Ignite points. What type of value are we assigning to today? So I'm going to open up the top hat, but just start thinking about it. Is it a integer, a float, or a string? I'm just gonna open up the top hat. Start presentation. Okay. Yeah, Tanisha, you have one question?
If we want to print both of the variables in the same line of print, can we do that?
Yes, you can. I'll show you right after this top hat, okay?
Thank
you. Yeah. Okay, you guys have around a minute and a half to respond. And Roki, you have an answer or question?
Hi, I still don't have session 1 and 3 on my top hat. I only see 1 and 0. I only see session 3, session 5, and session 7.
I'm not too sure. Uh, Mahawk, do you know how to, I guess, troubleshoot that? I'm not particularly fond with the user side of Top
So,
Hat.
yeah, I believe this is the only issue we've gotten regarding, like, there's only one mentee with the problem of not being able to see it, right? Everybody else was able to see it. If not, please put it in the chat, but I'm seeing answers over here. Uh, it might just have to do with the join code or something. And this will have to be like an individual like problem setup. So I would recommend that you ask your mentor back in the breakout room. We will have time. So any such problems that we can't like troubleshoot immediately, please go to your mentors for that through Discord, through email, anything. The mentors are here to help you with these things.
I hope that answered your question. Sorry. Also, 10 seconds. 10 seconds. 1 second. And close. Okay. Let's check the answers. See what everyone said. Okay, a bit distributed. Float and a string. String. Okay. But the right answer is it is a string. So let's go back here. So remember how I said that whenever we're printing a text or whenever we're specifying a string, it's always has these quotation marks. So if you just see anything with quotation marks, that's a string. So even though it says 13.10, since it has these quotation marks, it's still a string though. And about this option number D, a data value cannot be two things at once. It cannot be a float and a string. That isn't allowed. Is it an integer? Unfortunately, no. It is. It's a string. And even if it wasn't a string, that would be a float. Okay. Let's go back to our code back here. And Tanisha, you asked something about printing two variables in the same line on your console, right? So say we
Yeah.
have, oh yeah. Say we have height and let's say, oh, I'm gonna put this centimeters. I think I'm like 177 centimeters. And yeah, let's do my name. My name. Adrian. If you want to print both values, you could do height centimeter. And then actually no. I'm gonna do you could put down my name, comma, height centimeters. And you see how it prints it down here? Nice. And I'll go and actually I'll give you one more tidbit. I'll give you one more tidbit. A great one if we specify height centimeters as a string for now, we could do this is a little bit complicated, but I think you guys could understand it. But I could say my name is, and then I could do a comma. Could do my name right there. And then maybe on another line of code, I could do my height is in centimeters, comma, height centimeters. See how it kind of prints the things right there? Yeah. Oh, I spelled height wrong. Anyways, that's fine. I hope you understood a bit what a variable is, but we're gonna move on to our next exercise where we're gonna go into a breakout room again. So can everyone copy this code or take a screenshot of this code? Give you maybe a minute for that. So copy this code for these two snowmen. And I want you to copy this code into the draw section. Copy it here under the draw. And I'll go back to the slides, take a screenshot. I'll give you like 1 minute to copy that. Okay, I hope you've copied that. If not, take a screenshot. It lasts longer. So we're gonna go into our breakout rooms, but this is the exercise. So we have these snowmen. Oopsies. We have these snowmen here. We have snowman 1, we have snowman 2. How can you move both snowmen 50 pixels to the right and 50 pixels down? And what's the least number of lines you need to change? And which snowman was easier to move? And with that, let's go into our breakout sessions.
So, hello everyone. All of you should get like a pop-up message that asks you to join a breakout room. Can you please join that? Send you the request again. Yeah, I can try that. Give me a sec. Okay, you should have gotten a message again to join the room. Send the messages. Okay, yeah, I can do that. Give me 1 second. So I'll send one to Scott again. Ignore the first one. I'm gonna move you to another room, but then I'll put you back into room 16 and join room 16, okay? So you should see a message now that asks you to join room 16. Please join that one. And then Arnush, I'll give you another join request. Again, ignore the first one. I'm gonna move you to a different room and then send you a request for room 5. So please join room 5. Give me a second. And you should have gotten a request now. Scott, was there an issue? Were you not able to join? Kicked you out as soon as you joined. Okay, that is weird. We can try again, I guess. I'll send you the request again. And again, ignore the first one. And I'll send you another one. Okay, try joining now.
Okay. Share my screen again. So I'm hoping you guys got the snowman. I don't have the exact solution to this. Oh, but it's asking for 50 pixels to the right and 50 pixels down. So I'm gonna give you a hint. This, you're gonna have to change these values here for every ellipse, the 100 and the 100 and the X and the Y. So one thing you can do that would make this a lot easier is you could do like, oh, question. Oh, never mind. You could also just do like change in X. You could specify like 50 and then you could do change in Y, 50. And then you could add these variables to the ellipse. So that's one way of going about it. Ranveer is asking one question. I'll try to answer real quick. Roughly. Oh, you could also adjust the X value. You could also adjust this X value down here. That's an interesting solution. Anyways, there's multiple ways to go about that. We're gonna have to go ahead. We're at 120. So we've covered variables. Another thing that's important is something called operators. And this is a phone, not this operator. I don't know if you remember, but there used to be phone operators. So like whenever you call someone, there'd be a phone operator that would connect you to the other individual you're calling. My grandma was actually a phone operator. She had some interesting stories. This is pretty straightforward. I mean, your basic like addition, subtraction, multiplication, division. There's something called modulus, and that sort of gives you the remainder. That should give you like the remainder of a division. Oh, that's gonna be our quick session. But if you go down here, you could do like print. You could do 5 modulus 2. Let's see what that gives us. Oh, okay. We'll just do that value. But you see that if I do 5 divided by 2, well, that's like 2, but you have a remainder of 1, and that's why 1 appears down there. So that's just uh a little kind of like intricacy with Python. Okay, now we're going to quick question number 3. It's our last top hat question of the day. So we talked about specifying circles with with the edges, oh no, with the radius of the circle touching the edges of like the window here and then the window here. How can we define like a general code that does that for any size of circle, any diameter of the circle? How can we define parameters X and Y so that a circle defined will stay at the top left corner? Try different circles with different diameters. And there's one hint down here. How far does the circle center need to be from the edges? So we could look back to the quick question, to the solution to the quick question here, and maybe apply the same logic to answer the quick question back here. I'll open up Top Hat. And will sort of be towards the end of our session today. But yeah, just think about, I mean, in the first top hat question, we've talked about the radius being like 50. And then how far does it have to be from like the edges, from like the edge of the window here and the edge of the window up here? So just think about that a little bit. Okay, one more minute. How far does the circle need to be from the edges? Use that hint. 30 more seconds. Think about it. But think about the coordinates or the size of the circle, though. Think about that. Oh my goodness. Can be 10 seconds. Okay. 2 more people. Time is up. Okay, let's check the answer. See, check the responses. Oh, that's interesting. D over 2. And let's check the correct answer. You are right. It is B. Most of you guys got it right. And if we bring out the code for that, so you guys don't have to copy this exactly into your trinket, but this is sort of like the solution to it. But stop here. Say we have a diameter of 200. That means that the center of the circle needs to be 100 pixels from the edge over here and 100 pixels from the top over here. So that's why we do D over 2. And it appears that most of you guys got that. So good on you. We'll go back to the slides. And we were on the topic of variables, but another important thing that is going to be very useful when you're making your games is knowing where the X and Y position of your mouse is. So the variables mouse and X and mouse Y, they access these X and Y coordinates of your mouse. And you don't have to assign these variables because they're already like pre-built into Trinket. So this is like an example code where we sort of draw a circle that's like oh no, sorry, not a circle. A square that's like on top of your cursor. So we define processing import, the typical stuff, setup, draw, background, fill. It's roughly a blue color. But then we draw rectangles at the mouse's X position and the mouse's Y position. And then we run that. Okay. And I'm gonna go through one tiny thing. I think I have 2 more minutes. One tiny thing. I'm just gonna copy this code. But using those mouse X and mouse Y, I mean you could draw the rectangle here, but if it helps you out, you could also print the location of your mouse. See, print mouse X and mouse Y. And you see how I'm hovering? And you see how these values change? So if you had trouble with the coordinate system, this is like 0, 0. And then as we move to the right, you see how the X value changes? And if we go down, the Y value increases. Okay. I think that's going to be roughly it for the content of our session today. Remember, this is how you could share your code. You could link it here, or you could press this icon right here. And these are some exercises that you guys could do at home. They're around 50 Schulich Ignite points. And yeah, as Mahak said, remember to do your homework assignments. And this is how you could submit those exercises. And I believe that's everything for today. It is around 1:30. Can you send the link of the slides presentation? Where do you see the homework assignments? I believe you could, let's see. I think Mahak is Mahak is giving the link for them. I'm not too sure.
So if you go to the Schulich Ignite website, you should be able to see in the beginner tab, like after each session, we upload the slides and you can access the slides over there. They have the homework assignments. They also have the link where you can submit these. But if you still have questions, again, go to the Discord, ask your mentors, or there should be just general information in the Discord. Or you can also go to the Schulich Ignite Instagram page where you should be able to access everything.
Yeah. Thank you for that.
Is there a way to see how many Ignite points we have? So right now we haven't started updating any Ignite points because no one's done any exercises yet. We will start updating the Ignite points like after session 2 or 3, and there is a spreadsheet on the Schulich Ignite website, and all of you will be able to access it. Bugbuster and Pythonic Lava, I believe we are not differentiating them this time. So like the exercises on the first slide, like Adrian just showed earlier, you can do those two are the mandatory ones to get like the second tier certificate. But there's extra, like on the slides further, you can also submit the other exercises for extra Ignite points to win the leaderboards. Where do I find the homework? Again, on the Schulich Ignite website. I can send the link again, but the slides are uploaded over there, and the last few slides are where your homework questions are.
For submitting the assignments, do we just press Pythonic Lava?
Oh, for that, I think you can pick either or. You'll get your submission either way, so it doesn't really matter which one you pick. I believe that's the end of session. Adrian, if you have any other comments, please feel free to take the stage. But yeah, if not, we'll see you guys next Saturday.
Yep. Thank you guys. Bye.
Sorry, where's the homework assignment?
So you know the link where I can send the link again, but if you go to the Schulich Ignite websites, there should be like a sessions tab, and underneath the sessions tab, you should be able to access like the beginner sessions. Underneath the beginner sessions, if you scroll down, you'll see session 0 slides, and then you'll see session 1 slides. Were you able to access them?
Sorry, I muted myself. So the link for the assignments on the slides?
Yes, so the exercises that you're supposed to do are on the slides, like the little animations. I can tell you the slide number right now. So in session 1 slides, if you go all the way down to slide 39, those are your homework assignments, and you're just like supposed to make that on the trinket.
Okay, so the ones that are worth 50, 50, 50, like all
Yeah,
of those?
the one that are worth 50 Ignite points, those ones.
But there's like multiple slides of them. There's 2, 4, 6.
So the first slide, slide 39, like the first slide with the assignments, you're supposed to do those ones. Those are the mandatory ones. The ones after that you can do just for fun or if you want extra Ignite points to win the leaderboards.
All right, and just to make sure 39, the one with like the color changing block and the different
Yes,
colors.
and the size changing and color changing rectangle.
Okay, right. Okay, 39.
Yeah, Kanto, you had your hand raised.
Yeah. Never mind.
Okay. Yeah. What was the question?
So the homework assignment on slide 39 is mandatory?
Yes.
Okay.
Like if you want the second tier certificate, that is. like we encourage you to do these. It's good to do these, but we're not like forcing you to do these.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
All right, and then slides 40 to 42 are like the ones for extra points.
Yeah, those are for extra points.
Oh, okay, and each two is worth 50.
Yes, each exercise you do is worth 50 Ignite points.
Okay, sweet, thanks.
Yeah. Okay, so for the rest of the mentees who are still in session, do we have questions or did we just disappear after turning on our computers? If there's no questions, I'm gonna slowly start putting you guys into the breakout or the waiting room so we can do our little mentor debrief. So we have questions. So 39 is mandatory. Slide 39, there's two exercises. Hold on, guys. I'm just gonna share my screen so everybody knows. So when you go to the slides from the Sherlock Ignite website, you should be able to see slide 39. These two exercises are mandatory for like the upper tier certificates. The ones after these are for extra points for winning the leaderboard. So like if you don't do these, we're not gonna like, mark it missing or anything like that. Does that make sense? And again, here I'll show you where on the Sherlock Ignite website you can access these. So if you go to the Sherlock Ignite website, go to sessions, go to Ignite Beginner, you'll go to this page, and if you just scroll down, you should be able to see the slides of the sessions. You just click on this and it'll take you to the slides. We will also post like the recordings for the sessions in case you missed them, so that's this button.